Welcome everyone. I'm going to share with you Buddha and Patanjali's view on disease and aging. Please remember, youth, vitality, strength, stamina, beauty, enthusiasm, courage, and passion for life is something intrinsic to all of us. Who in the world does not want to stay in one's prime forever? And yet, there are certain realities which humanity has been facing for a long time, in fact, forever. A person like Buddha, a person like Patanjali have paid attention that why diseases and old age have to be the way they are. Buddha is a prince. As ancient literature tells us, he was very handsome and very young when he left his home in the quest of enlightenment. And he did not know what that enlightenment meant. He just started. During his quest, then he realized that in order to achieve anything in life, first we have to be healthy. We have to be energetic. We have to be fearless. We have to be enthusiastic. We have to have self-confidence. His quest for achieving conquest over death, disease, and old age began with a very amazing realization. And I wish to share with you exactly the way it is written in the scriptures. Buddha was on his way to visit his royal garden. That is where he saw something very amazing. And he asked, Sthulodarah swachalaccharirah sastrans vaho krishapandugatrah ambeti vachah karuna bruvanah param samasre tyanarah ka eshah. So he observed when he was passing through the streets of his capital city. He observed and he noticed in different individuals, he noticed 6 things. Then finally, he saw all those 6 in one human being. And he was completely bewildered. First, one is a person who was suffering from disease, and yet he did not look like he was really too much bothered by it. So this way he saw one person like that, another person like that, and then finally he saw the culmination of quote disease. Sthulodarah. Then he realized, wow, this person, who is this? There is stiffness, denseness, swelling in his tummy area, middle part of his body. Somehow he came to realize that inability to do what we wish to do, inability not to do what we do not wish to do, okay, comes from this condition where there is stiffness in our thought, speech, and action. There is stiffness in our body. There is stiffness in our nervous system. There is stiffness and slowness, inertia in our digestive system. Things are not moving. The food is not moving from mouth to the lower end. Legs are not moving properly. The brain is not moving properly. Everything has become so sluggish, almost frozen. What is this? He asked his own very, very sharp intellect that was illuminated by the power of intuition. It said, it is disease. Wow! To some degree, almost everybody has this problem. And what's wrong with people? And what's wrong with this fellow who is really suffering from it? Sthulodara, swachalat shariraha. Another condition of disease. And here Buddha is not looking at whether it is tuberculosis, whether it's diarrhea, whether it's dysentery, whether it's a cancer, whether it's heart-related diseases. Okay, nothing like that. Whether it's arthritis, whether it's back pain. No, he's looking at the overall condition which we just go on ignoring throughout our life. Second thing he noticed, swachalat shariraha. Each time when this person breathes, how much effort he has to make in order to breathe. And each time, of course, this is exaggerated one, but then he paid attention to very many other people, those who did not seem to be really, really so sick, and yet he could see that there is labor involved in breathing. He could clearly see that at each inhalation and exhalation, somewhere the nervous system, somewhere the heart, somewhere the lungs, they were not really in great state of comfort. And he wondered, when this condition is there, people are not concerned. They are not doing anything about it. Sastransabaho. As though if the burden of the whole planet is on our shoulders. We are discouraged. We are disheartened. Our shoulders are not able to carry the weight of our head, which is burdened by so many worries, fears, anxiety, insecurity. Krishapandugatraha. Then look at the luster, the glow of the skin is not exactly the same. Of course, the person who is really, really sick, you can very clearly see, but there are lots of people out there. He looks in these people, hundreds of people standing in the streets saying, "Hail to Buddha, hail to Siddhartha, hail to Siddhartha." And they are saying, hail to someone else, but what about hail to yourself? No. Where is the glow on the face? Where is the twinkle in the eyes? Where is the, nice, shiny, smooth skin? Why there are wrinkles on people's faces? It's very clear that deep down something is not right. And yet, people just go on living their day-to-day life. Ambeti vachaha. Then he noticed this person who was really, really struggling with the disease. Mom. Oh. Fine. But he saw somewhere deep down, by using the power of his intuition, he is seeing that at cellular level, it's like the cells are crying, they are starved of something. And people are not aware of it. What's wrong with people? It's their body. Each and every cell, each and every tissue, each and every organ, which constitute the body, belongs to these thinking beings. The intelligence of this thinking being pervades every nook and cranny of the body. Okay. Body is going through such a pain and sorrow, grief and worry. And somehow, this intelligent person, these intelligent beings are not hearing the deep sigh coming out of one's own, from deep inside one's own body. Something is fundamentally wrong here. Ambeti vachah karuna bruvanaha param samasritya naraha ka esha. Of course, the person who is suffering from disease is supported by his helpers, the aides. But Buddha looks at everybody else. Somehow, one organ is trying to find some extra support from the other organ. Deep inside, our intellect is trying to render additional support to one's ego. Ego is trying to render some extra support to one's body. Willpower, determination, Sankalp Shakti, the power of intention, is constantly running here and there and here and there, trying to tell the body, go on, I'm here, I will help you, do not worry, stand up, walk. That was the first revelation to Buddha, that there is disease. He noticed the next one, something old person, and he clearly said, wow, who in the world really wants 6 great virtues of their body and mind to be kind of plundered by this phenomena called old age? And he saw 6 things, just as there are 6 signs and symptoms and 6 different conditions that one or more than one disease leads to, and they are, as I told you, sthulo daraha. Body becomes stiff, body becomes swell, body becomes to swell, or body becomes kind of pale, body becomes, our thoughts and our ideas, our speech, everything is frozen in time. Similarly here, something we all of us want to be, maintain our beauty, but somehow the plunderous nature of old age takes it away. Rupasya hantri vyasanam balasya shokasya yonir nidhanam muratinam nasha smritinam ripurindriyanam esha jaranam yayesha bhagnah. Rupasya hantri. 1. Vyasanam balasya shokasya yonir nidhanam ratinam nasha smritinam ripurindriyanam esha jaranam yayesha bhagnah. All of us, we see in our own day-to-day life that in early childhood, when we are babies, when we are children, how much, it's like we are brimming with an amazing joy, and everything looks so beautiful. Stuffed toys look so beautiful. An insect and bug looks so beautiful. A frog and newts are so beautiful. Dry leaves are beautiful. Flying dandelion flowers are so beautiful. We watch cartoons, they look so beautiful. We watch Nature programmed is so beautiful. Everything is full of fun. And most importantly, we had a baby in diapers. We look so beautiful. Inside diaper, there is some material which adults feel very uncomfortable with. That child, even with that material inside the diaper, is so beautiful. Then our beauty somehow seeks some additional support. So that sense of, amazing sense of beauty is has no longer its totally independent existence. It begins to depend on something else. We need very fancy Gucci purse. Now we need diamond ring. Why? Now we need attention from boys and girls. Now we need our big degrees. Now we need big positions. Now we need big money. Now we need big houses. And now we need lots of glamour and praises and admiration. And now we need lots of trophies. Okay. Buddha is totally puzzled. Isn't that we are so beautiful just independently? And yet, so much dependency on the external world. And as soon as we come to realize, whatever standard of beauty we have decided to impose on ourselves, and when there is slightest stain in that standard of beauty, oh my God, now what? Little Botox might help. Okay. Rupasya hantri. Does it have to be that way? Buddha says, if we need to be dependent on the outside world to be beautiful, it is pitiful. Vyasanam balasya. How much energy? As a kid, as an adolescent, as a teenager, as a youthful, a person in our youth, we just go on and go on and go on. We never feel exhausted. And now suddenly something happens. We feel exhausted. We feel tired. We feel drained. A child, for a long time, in his or her early childhood, doesn't really need a cup of coffee, does not need this, does not need that in order to be energetic. Now suddenly we start seeking additional support. Why? Isn't that food enough? Isn't that the love we receive from the external world is enough? Is it the support and extraordinary, the energy of sap of vitality that oozes out from inside us is enough to really make us feel energetic? Buddha says something is wrong with human beings. Rupasya hantri vyasanam balasya shokasya yonir. Hey, why every little thing happens and suddenly we begin to drown in the ocean of worry, regret, despondency, sense of worthlessness, unworthiness. And people are not aware of the fact that how much energy it's taking away. Oh, sir, this is called old age. Oh my God, old age. Aging. What's wrong with human beings? Buddha thought. This kind of so-called aging is not for me. Buddha decided. Rupasya hantri vyasanam balasya shokasya yonir nidhanam ratinam. Oh, how are you today? Oh, well, not too bad. Can't you say, good? Not too bad, what means you are just trying to pacify yourself. Not too bad. It could have been worse. What's wrong? Sir, it's old age. Oh my, no, this is not for me. Buddha said. Nasha smritinam, the fifth one. Nasha smritinam, memory. Hey, how are you? Oh, nice. So, how is your daughter doing? Fine, good. By the how is your daughter doing? She's doing good. Do you have daughter? Yeah. How is she doing? Nasha smriti nam. The memory is fading away. Linear thought process is disappearing. Short-term memory, long-term memory. And Buddha says, what's wrong with people? Sir, it's old days. What? This is not for me. Siddhartha, let's do something. Ripurindriyanam. Our own eyes, our own nostrils, our own tongue, and our own speech, our own hands. All five cognitive senses are our all five active senses. They are kind of no longer coordinating with each other. There is a conflict between what we want to do and what senses want to do. And we get caught as an intelligent, as a sensible person, we get caught in between. Buddha's side. That's what put Buddha on that path. And when Buddha finally did whatever he did, many of you have read Buddha's story. But you know what very, 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 very first thing happened after he attained enlightenment? And when he was just about to share the fruits of his enlightenment, which is documented in one of the very beautiful book called Saddharma Pundarika Sutra, which is called Lotus Sutra in English. The very, very first time when he is imparting the knowledge of the Lotus Sutra, you know who came to there in flesh? The primordial master Vishak Raj, the lord of the doctors. And the lord of the doctors appears in front of Buddha and he says, Anandamananda karam prasannam jnana swarupam nijabodha rupam yogindra misham bhavaroga vaidyam srimad gurum nityamaham bhajami. The doctor of all doctors bows its head to Buddha, salutes Buddha, who not only understood what disease and old age are all about, not only that what he understood, what he understood about the cause of disease and old age, but rather literally conquered disease and old age. Now he knows that there is a condition called old age and disease. He knows that this old age and disease ultimately results in one single experience called pain and sorrow and grief. He also came to know that there is cause of old age disease and the pain and sorrow caused by it. He also came to know that it is not ultimate truth. It is ultimate truth only for those who do not do anything about it. Because there is a state beyond pain and sorrow, beyond the signs and symptoms of old age and diseases. And there is a way to reach there. All those four things came to Buddha. It is in that context, let me introduce Pantanjali. Pantanjali, the codifier of the author of the Yoga Sutra, is an amazing person. In addition to writing this book, Yoga Sutra, he also wrote one of the most prominent, the best forever up to this day, book on health and healing. Health and healing. The name of that voluminous book is called Susruta. In attempt to advance Buddha's mission, in attempt to take Buddha's mission forward 250 years, 300 years later, Pantanjali conducted perhaps world's largest and biggest and most monumental project by gathering the information on science of life, Ayurveda, science of life or science of longevity and quality life, Ayurveda. There he documented both cause and cure of the diseases and created one whole big section, one whole book inside this gigantic voluminous book. That is rasayana, which means how to make sure that this body remains as a vibrant container of sap of life and human beings live fully and live long. Okay, rasayana. And that is for the body part. And for mind part, then he wrote the Yoga Sutra. How to have a clear, calm, tranquil mind. And if that clear, calm, and tranquil mind is affected by disturbances, distractions, worry, grief, sorrow, anger, hatred, jealousy, greed, attachment, sense of violence and revenge, then how to calm down that mind? How to create a condition, how to put mind on the path where mind is no longer disturbed, no longer distracted, no longer stupefied, but rather it is fully one-pointed, focused, and has ability to run into the external world and become an achiever there, and to run into the internal world and become the master of itself. And in the process, he came to conclude, for the health of both body and mind, he concluded that our problems begin with one word, one simple fact. We become diseased, we accelerate aging process only because of one main fundamental reason called pragya aparadha. We kill our conscience. We know what to do. We know that we are in our youth and we can clearly see. When we are in our 40s and 50s, we can clearly see that there is definitely some fundamental changes have occurred, and if we do not allow, if we do not make some effort to slow down the drainage of our vitality, will become depleted. We know it, and yet we ignore it. That's called killing our conscience, damaging our conscience. Well, that is too subtle. Therefore, these masters together in their own time and in their own manner with their own emphasis, they created a system that helps us rise above those 6 conditions which are the indicatives, which are indicative of diseases. That is sthulodaraha. This denseness, stiffness, lack of immobility. Our food is passing through our GI tract at slow pace. Our blood circulation is slow. Our breathing is kind of obstructed. The communication between peripheral, the dimension of our body and the brain, and that is also very slow. We are walking slow, talking slow, thinking slow. And here is exactly, in order to live long and in order to live fully, here is exactly we can do something, and that's what they called it, Kaya Kalpa. Patanjali writes this in Yoga Sutra, chapter 2, and later on in chapter 3, then later on again in chapter 4 of the Yoga Sutra. Sthulodarah swachalat sharirah. Here are the medicine, here are the herbs, here are the metals, here are the minerals. Here is the alchemy created by all these metals, minerals, and herbs. Here is the alchemy created by spice, grains, fruits, vegetables, which one can use to make sure that entire respiratory system, including the cellular level of respiration, is just in perfect health. Today we talk about ROS. Okay, that is this the restrictive, reactive oxygen species, reactive, nitrogen species. In those days, these masters had their own terminology. We do not need to get into all these debates. This is a simple factor. There is unhealthy reaction taking place in all those different kinds of nutrients, whether it's oxygen, whether it's whatever it is. And somehow body is creating something due to its own sluggishness, due to its own overaction, reaction, and interaction, due to its own fundamental processes of overcompensation and overreaction. Something is being accumulated in our body. And as soon as we come to learn how to breathe properly, or as soon as we come to figure out that here is some kind of alchemy, here is some kind of herb, here is some kind of fruit, and here is some kind of technique that can help us really bring our breathing process to a state of balance, automatically lots of problems will be kept at bay. Okay? This is what Patanjali and Gautam Buddha, they wanted us to do and understand. Just simply do not sit and continue blaming the providence, continue blaming the external world, continue blaming all these chemicals that are out there. This is a reality. During the time of Buddha, during the time of Patanjali, they also had their own unique kind of realities that were they could have justified. Yes, there is such a condition in our outside world and inside the world, in our family, in our society, in our socio-economic structures. But they say no, that does not deserve any justification. There are chemicals out there in the food and water. Our water is polluted, air is polluted, soil is polluted. And the kind of socio-economic structure we have, it engenders, it just keeps manufacturing all kinds of stress, anxiety, and fear. But that does not give us license to live a miserable life. That's what Buddha and Patanjali say. Wake up, wake up. And both these masters, they had only one thing in common. Heyam dukham anagatam. That is, the pain and sorrow, which has all the potentials to manifest very soon in future, can be avoided, can be removed. Tomorrow never comes as tomorrow. Tomorrow always comes in the form of present. If we take care of the present, our future is bound to be vibrant, radiant, joyful, productive, and fulfilling. My current course on Kaya Kalpa is tribute to these great masters, Buddha and Patanjali. It is very humbling. It's a matter of great fortune to be part of a lineage, a tradition, which had worked hard for thousands of years, not only to preserve the knowledge, but rather keep the knowledge fully current. With that faith, with that confidence, with that humility, I am offering this Kaya Kalpa course. My attitude is an attitude of offering. Here is what you have given to me, O Buddha, O Patanjali, and all those great masters, those who have worked hard to keep the knowledge fully current. With a sense of gratitude, I offer back to you, and the completion of this offering comes by being able to present this wisdom in a manner which can address our current situations and circumstances, and which can again refill our body and mind with energy and confidence that disease and the process of aging, it can be conquered, and we can live long and live fully. That is Kaya Kalpa, and that Kaya Kalpa is a tribute to these two great masters of the tradition. Thank you, God bless you, and I hope to see you in Kaya Kalpa.